will be in English or
Yeah,
Hindi?
Prabhu, we are okay with the English, or maybe you can speak Hindi or mix. It's up to you, Prabhu. So we are fine with any of the language.
Okay. So the verse the verse is from the chapter Canto 4, chapter 28. Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. And the verse is 38. Tapasa vidyaya pakva kasayo niyamay yuyuje brahmanyatmanam vijitaksha nilasayah. This is discussing about King Malayadhwaj's austerities. By worshipping, executing austerities, and following the regulative principles, King Malayadhwaj conquered his senses, his life, and his consciousness. Thus, he fixed everything on the central point of the Supreme Brahman, Krishna. Purport: whenever the word Brahman appears, the impersonalists take this to mean the impersonal effulgence, the Brahmajyoti. Actually, however, Para Brahman, the Supreme Brahman, is Krishna, Vasudeva. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva extends everywhere as the impersonal Brahman. One cannot fix one's mind upon an impersonal something. Bhagavad Gita 12.5 therefore says, Klesodhikatarastesam avyakta asakta chetasam. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Consequently, when it is said herein that King Malayadhwaj fixed his mind on Brahman, Brahman means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And text 39, Aste sthanu ivaikatra divyam varsasatam sthirah Vasudeve Bhagavati Nanyad Vedodvahan Ratim. In this way, he stayed immovable in one place for 100 years by the calculation of demigods. After this time, he developed pure devotional attraction for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and remained fixed in that position. Purport: Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudevah sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is everything. And one who knows this is the greatest of all transcendentalists. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that one realizes this after many, many births. This is also confirmed in this verse with the words Divyam verse Satam. 100 years according to the calculation of the demigods. According to the calculations of the demigods, one day, 12 hours, is equal to 6 months on earth. 100 years of the demigods would equal 36,000 earth years. Thus, King Malayadhwaj executed austerities and penances for 36,000 years. After this time, he became fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. To live on earth for so many years, one has to take birth many times. This confirms the conclusion of Krishna. To come to the conclusion of Krishna consciousness and remain fixed in the realization that Krishna is everything, as well as render service unto Krishna, are characteristics of the perfectional stage. As said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 20.62, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. When one comes to the conclusion that Krishna is everything by worshipping all, by rendering service, devotional service unto Krishna, one actually becomes perfect in all respects. Not only must one come to the conclusion that Krishna is everything, but he must remain fixed in this realization. This is the highest perfection of life, and it is this perfection that King Malayadhwaja attained at the end. So, for us, it is difficult to sit at one place even for doing 16 round, and he was sitting at one place for 100 years, 100 years of the demigods, 36,000 years according to the count of the earthly planet. So, one thing we have to understand that our capacities are quite limited with the passage of time. The capacities which the people used to have in other ages were so much as compared to the Kali Yuga people. And the capacity of Kali Yuga people has gone down so much that when they read the phrases like this, they think that these are the fairy tales, because they think we cannot do, then how others can do. They don't realize that even within 100 years of time, we can see the health of the people has gone down so much. I remember during my childhood, there were people who were at the age of 70, they were running like the young boy. In the villages, they used to eat the pure cow ghee and cow milk, and they were so healthy. And even two, three of us cannot handle one person of that time. So with the passage of time, the capacities decrease, and that's the reason that in Kali Yuga, Lord has prescribed that Kali Yuga people are very unfortunate. That's why they need the sometime when the patient is very sick, then he has to be given the most powerful medicine. So Kali Yuga people are the most sick people out of all four yugas. That's why Lord Chaitanya, as an expert doctor, gave the most effective medicine for the uh, Kali Yuga people who are most sick in terms of spiritual emancipation, spiritual realization. Here, this story tells about the second life of Puranjana. Narad Muni is describing about the life of Puranjana. This is a figurative story which Narada is describing to Prachin Bhavishat. And this also describes that Narada is such an excellent preacher. Practically all over the universe, the greatest acharyas, they are the disciples of Narad. Most of them. Most of the great acharyas are disciples of Narad Muni. They and whether you take Valmiki, whether Vyasadev or Dhruva, Prahlad, they all are the disciples of Narad Muni. And Narad Muni is the expert preacher also. Sometimes he goes to preach to the woman, and he, even before the birth of the child, he makes the child pure devotee. Like in the womb, he preached Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad became the pure devotee. Such a pure devotee that that type of pure devotee is never seen in this material world. That was the power of Narad Muni's preaching. Sometime he goes to King Prachin Bharisat and he speaks about the figurative story. Sometime he goes to different people. So Narad Muni is the expert preacher, one of the most expert preacher all over the world. And here he is describing about the second life of Puranjana. Puranjan becomes a woman and he gets married with Malay Dhwaja, who is a great king, great devotee of the Lord. And in this verse, text 38 and 39, the subject matter is described that King Malay Dhwaj is concentrating his mind on Brahman. In the next verse, this Brahman is clarified here. Although Prabhupada clarifies the purport in this translation, after this translation only, but Sukadeva Goswami also clarifies the meaning of Brahman in the next verse, 39 verse. So, Srila Prabhupada purports are like this. Srila Prabhupada purports are like the lenses. Even when we are not able to see the thing, Prabhupada purports help us to see the thing as it is, as they are. That's the beauty of Srila Prabhupada's purport. Like you see in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, Lord Krishna is speaking about Ashtanga Yoga. Practically, the whole chapter speaks about the Ashtanga Yoga. And Srila Prabhupada is giving the purport about Bhakti Yoga. He is telling that Ashtanga Yoga is not so practical, Bhakti Yoga should be done. So somebody may ask the question that when God is speaking about Ashtanga Yoga, why you are speaking about Bhakti Yoga? Somebody who has the doubt, he may ask that Krishna is telling about Ashtanga Yoga and you are speaking about Bhakti Yoga. So somebody who doesn't have the faith, he may say that Prabhupada is contradicting Krishna's version. But Prabhupada knows, Acharyas note what Krishna is going to speak in the end. At the end of the 6th chapter, Krishna himself speaks, Yoginam api sarvesam madgatena antaratma. Out of all yogis, those who are the pure devotees, they are very dear to me. And because Prabhupada knows what Krishna wants to speak at the end, that's why he speaks the conclusion in the beginning itself. And that's the beauty of the taking shelter of the Acharya, Acharyopasanam, which is the first step in spiritual development. When we take shelter of the Acharya, Acharya knows the heart of Lord Krishna, and Acharya directly guides the conditioned soul toward that place. One time, one person asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you says that your Bhagavad Gita is as it is, but you are inserting Krishna even to those places where it is not written in Bhagavad Gita. You are inserting intentionally. So how it is as it is? So Prabhupada just answered that even when Krishna is present in some verses in Bhagavad Gita, you are removing Krishna from those places. That's why I have to insert him even when he is not there. So I am balancing you. You are not inserting Krishna anywhere. Even when Krishna wants himself to be inserted, you are not inserting. That's why I have to intentionally keep Krishna in the center. Because Prabhupada knows what Krishna wants from the conditioned soul. And he presents Bhagavad Gita in that way. So Bhagavad Gita as it is means Bhagavad Gita as Krishna wants. That's the meaning of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita as Krishna wants. Sometime who is that? One scholar, Devadatta Patnaik, he has written the book My Gita. It's good that he has given the name My Gita. He is not writing as Bhagavad Gita. But many scholars that they say the name Krishna, that Bhagavad Gita is by Krishna, but whatever they speak, this is their mental speculation. Although Devadatta Patnaik, My Gita is also mental speculation. It's also the useless book. But he is at least giving the title that My Gita. This is my interpretation. So Prabhupada's purport are the Vedic scriptures as Krishna wants. And here, the Supreme Brahman means Krishna. Prabhupada explains about Brahman. Brahman has many meaning. Sarvam khalu idam Brahman. This is one of the meaning of Brahman. Whatever spiritual substances are there in this world, they all are the transformation of Brahman. Even the material world is called Brahman because it is a transformation of the spiritual reality. That is one of the meaning of Brahman. Because Brahman is the spiritual reality, when it is transformed, coming in contact with material nature, it becomes material reality. The same spiritual substance transforms. That is the meaning of Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahman. Another meaning is given here, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Whatever is spiritual, it is coming from Vasudeva. So that is also one of the meaning of Brahman, spiritual. Another meaning is given here, Brahma Jyoti. The light which comes out from the transcendental body of the Lord. That is known as Brahma Jyoti. That is also known as Brahman. And in this Brahma Jyoti, all the spiritual planets also, Vaikuntha planets also are there in the spiritual Brahma Jyoti. All the Vaikuntha planets, they are floating in the bodily effulgent rays of Lord Krishna. That's why the effulgent rays are called Brahma Jyoti. And this Brahman is being explained by the Nirakarvadis, those who are not those who are not attracted by the form of the Lord. They consider Brahman as the impersonal something. That's why Prabhupada is writing here, one cannot fix one's mind upon an impersonal something. Some people say that God is everywhere, why you are going to the temple? Prabhupada used to answer that if God is everywhere, then why he is not in the temple? You are restricting people to go to the temple. That means you are thinking that God is everywhere, but not in the temple. But if God is everywhere, then he should be in the temple also. Why he is not in the temple? In fact, in the temple, it is very easy to meditate on God. Outside, meditating on God, uh, and able to realize God everywhere. That is very advanced stage in spiritual realization. When the person comes to the stage when he can see Krishna everywhere, that is very advanced stage. Yo mam pasyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pasyati. That stage is mentioned in the scriptures, but that is not for the neophyte. But for the general people, temples are the place where they can realize Krishna's presence distinctly, and they can fix their mind on Krishna. They don't need to concoct some impersonal thing and fix their mind. When I was studying in the college, I didn't have the understanding of this kind of understanding. So I used to close all the doors and all the windows in the room, and there was the lamp, candlelight. Candlelight I used to lit up, and then I used to do the meditation. Every day, at least 15 to 20 minutes meditation on the candlelight. I didn't know about the Bhakti Yoga. But I was thinking that it is very difficult, very stressing to the eyes also. And after some time, doctor told that you cannot meditate like this, otherwise your eyesight will reduce. So uh, if we need to concentrate something impersonal or something here and there, it is not going to benefit us in the spiritual life. It may benefit someone in developing the focus or some concentration increase, but it will not help in the spiritual life. In fact, impersonal meditation has been told by Lord Krishna as klesha adhikatarastesam. Those whose minds are attached to uh, unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. It is very difficult to advance if our mind is connected to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Lord. That's why in the next verse, uh, clearly it's written that Vasudeve Bhagavati Nanyadvedo Aham Rati. Vasudeva Bhagavati means he became attached to Lord Vasudeva. That means Lord Vasudeva is Brahman, Supreme Brahman. So Sukdev Goswami is also speaking in that sense. Text 38 he uses the word Brahman. Text 39 he uses the word Vasudeva. Lord Krishna also speaks in that way. If you read Bhagavad Gita closely, in many places he first writes Brahman, Paramatma, then some place he writes that you surrender unto me, like that. Like one example which I remember all the time. Chapter 18, text 61 speaks about Paramatma. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesya arjuna tishtati. Krishna speaks about Paramatma, and he says that Paramatma is in everyone's heart. And then text 33, Krishna speaks about tameva saranam gacha. You go to the shelter of Paramatma and surrender into Paramatma. Then text 64, he says that I am going to speak even more confidential thing than what I spoke till now. And he says, Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So surrendering unto Krishna is more confidential than surrendering unto Paramatma. That's what is the meaning. First he says that you surrender to Paramatma, then he says, Manmana bhav mad bhakto. You think about me, become my devotee, offer respect to me, and worship me. In this way, you will come to me. And this is the most confidential knowledge of the scriptures. And then next verse, he directly demand the surrender. Sarva dharman parityajya maam ekam saranam vraja. Sometimes people say that this is too much to demand. Why Krishna is demanding so much? Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna is not demanding for his benefit. If we surrender everything to Krishna, it's not that Krishna is going to be benefited. Krishna is already the Lord and Master of the Vaikuntha planets. And there are so many pure devotees are serving Krishna. It doesn't mean anyone that if we are not serving Krishna, then it doesn't think that Krishna is missing something. So yeah, sometime devotees think that I am offering such a nice service, but Krishna is mercifully accepting that service. That is greatness of Krishna. Otherwise, what is the quality of our service in comparison to the service which is done by Vrindavan Vasis or the devotees in Vaikuntha? How nicely we can sing. Can we sing better than gopis? Can we sing better than Narad Muni? No. If we think that I can cook very nicely, can we cook better than Srimati Radharani? Can we cook better than Yasodama? No. So the quality of our service is not so great. We are only offering some third class services. We think that it is great service. Our pride makes us think that we are offering such excellent service. But Krishna is accepting those services because he is thinking, oh, this is Kali Yuga person. This is what he can do. Okay, no problem. I will accept it. So Krishna is accepting because of his mercy. And he is accepting because he thinks that this person, although this person is useless, but he is connected to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is my pure devotee. That's why in the Vedic, in the Parampara system, it is very much required to take shelter of Acharya. When we offer anything to Krishna through the medium of Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, then only Krishna will accept. If we try to think that, okay, I can directly offer Krishna some things, then Krishna will not accept. There is one Vyas Puja offering by Sat Swarup Das Goswami Maharaj many years back. It's maybe 20, 25, 30 years back. He wrote a Vyas Puja offering. In that offering, he writes that uh, he's thinking that suppose if I go to the gate of Vaikuntha and Jai Vijay will be there, they will ask, who are you? And I will say that I am Satsvarup Das Goswami, I am the sannyasi, I was preaching all over the world. And Jai Vijay will see in the diary and they will see that, oh, your name is not there in our attendance, in our the eligible personal list. So you cannot enter in Vaikuntha. Maharaj writes like this, that if I say that my name is this and I am doing this, Jai Vijay may say, okay, your name has not come as yet. You go back, come later. But if I say that they ask, who are you? If I say that I am just a insignificant disciple of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and they will say the name, oh, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is the very dear person to Lord Krishna, then they will immediately allow. They will not ask about my qualification. That's what Maharaj writes in the Vyas Puja offering. That at some point of time, if I think that I have become such great that I can go to Vaikuntha um, on the basis of my qualification, then I will not be allowed to go to the Vaikuntha planet. But if I stay humble, stay loyal to your lotus feet, then I will be able to go back to Godhead based on the your qualification. Because Krishna loves Prabhupada. So anybody who comes following the footsteps of Prabhupada, they will be allowed in Golok Vrindavan. But if somebody goes independently, then Krishna will not allow them. So surrendering to Prabhupada is our greatest fortune. Surrender to spiritual master is our greatest fortune. Only because of that we can think of going back to Godhead in some time to come. And in the next 39 purport, um, Narad Muni is saying that he was immovable in one place for 100 years by the calculation of the demigods. So there are many people who perform austerities which may be inconceivable thinking our condition. But what defines the authenticity of the austerity is the motive of the person and the motive of the guide. Like we can imagine, Hiranyakashipu did so much austerity that no one has done till now in the history of the world. No one, apart from Lord Brahma, no one has done the austerity like Hiranyakashipu. But whatever austerity Hiranyakashipu did and whatever result he got by performing that austerity, those all results got finished by just a 5-year-old boy. Prahlad became more powerful. He didn't even do that austerity. He just heard from his guru. And that's how he became more powerful than Hiranyakashipu. So more austerity was being performed by Hiranyakashipu, but Prahlad became more powerful just by doing devotional service. So one thing is important. Motive is important while doing austerity. With which motive we are doing austerity, that is very important. Hiranyakashipu wanted to compete with Lord Vishnu, and Prahlad wanted to become the surrendered servant of Lord Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu had to die at the end because he was against Lord Vishnu, and Prahlad became glorious. The only difference was the motive, and that motive was being set by the spiritual master. The spiritual master of Hiranyakashipu was our Sukracharya, and a spiritual master of Prahlad was Narada. So it depends on which guide we are taking. If our teacher is the pure devotee or in the path of pure devotion, then we will go in that path. But if the teacher is not pure devotee, then we will not go in that path. We may go in the wrong path. Similar thing is with Dhruva and Hiranyakashipu also. Like Dhruv Maharaj, if we just consider uh, ambitions of Hiranyakashipu and ambitions of Dhruv Maharaj, then the material ambitions of Dhruv Maharaj was even greater than Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu wanted to become the most powerful person in the entire universe, but he was not thinking himself becoming more powerful than Lord Brahma. But Dhruv Maharaj, he had the desire to become more powerful than Lord Brahma, getting the bigger kingdom than Lord Brahma. So, in terms of material desires, Dhruva's material desire was greater than Hiranyakashipu's material desire. The only difference is Dhruva met Narad Muni, Hiranyakashipu met Sukracharya. And Narad Muni channelized his material desires towards the pure devotion. Sukracharya channelized Hiranyakashipu's material desires towards the destruction. So one personality, two personalities having same type of material desires. One got one pure devotee, one didn't get the pure devotee. So the person who got the pure devotee, he became pure devotee. The person who got the mixed person or the simple brahmana, his material desires were not destroyed. Prahlad material desires got destroyed because of Narad Muni's association and subsequently performing bhakti yoga and then getting Lord Vishnu's association. Because of that, his material desires got destroyed. But Hiranyakashipu's material desires never got destroyed because he surrendered to Sukracharya, who himself was not the pure devotee. So, in the age of Kali, it's very easy to become independent. Most of the people think that I will become independent, I will not surrender to everyone. But they don't realize that becoming dependent on the and devotees of the Lord is the most fortunate situation. We think that by becoming independent, I will do much better. Even within ISKCON, there is the issue. This is the problem that some devotees don't want to serve under the authorities. They don't want to serve under the senior devotees. They think that I will make plan, I will execute, I will become the boss. I myself will be the Siksha Guru, but there will be no Siksha Guru of mine. Everybody should surrender to me, but I will not surrender to anyone. So, because of this generational things, the obedience, discipline, everything is going down. And person wants to get the 100% surrendered followers, but he doesn't want to become 100% surrendered to anyone. This is the anomaly. We want that our juniors should be 100% surrendered to us, but we don't want ourselves to be 100% surrendered to our seniors. And that's how we become disconnected from the parampara, because we are demanding something for which we are also not ready. We are demanding something from others, but we are not ready to do that ourselves. And that comes the part of hypocrisy. That's why we may preach and bring more people, but we will not be successful in our spiritual life because we are demanding something which is hypocritical. If we are demanding that our juniors should surrender to us, then we should ask ourselves how much I am surrendered to my seniors. If we are not surrendered to our seniors, then we don't have right to ask the surrender from the juniors. That's how the parampara system works. The disciplic succession works. And many people ask how the mercy flows from the disciplic succession. This is how the mercy flows from disciplic succession. This is the meaning of becoming empowered by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the Guru. If the proportionate to our surrender to the superiors, the mercy from superiors will flow. If we are not surrendered to the superiors, then mercy will not flow. Then we may be able to do big things because of our skills, but we will still be hankering for the spiritual satisfaction. We may do big programs. The people will praise you. They will think that you are such a great, but inside you will be crying. you will not feel spiritual satisfaction. That spiritual satisfaction only comes by the empowerment of from the seniors. So becoming independent and preaching is one of the very great danger for the ISKCON growth, but it is more danger for our own spiritual growth. We will not be able to get the spiritual advancement if we continue like this, doing things independently. So Srila Prabhupada writes that for 100 years he was staying immovable, and he developed pure devotional attraction for Lord Krishna in that sense. And because it was 36,000 years, that's why Lord Krishna says that Bahunam Janmanam Ante. In many lifetimes it takes. Becoming the pure devotee of Lord Krishna is very rare. Out of many transcendentalists, rarely someone becomes totally surrendered to Narayana or or Vasudeva. And King Malayadhwaj executed austerities and penances for 36,000 years. After this time, he became fixed in devotional service of the Lord. To live on earth for so many years, one has to take many births. That confirms the conclusion of Krishna. And for developing a strong attachment to Lord Krishna, one has to be fixed in this conclusion that if I perform devotional service to Krishna, everything will be done. Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hoy. When somebody is worshipping Krishna or rendering service, he becomes perfect in all respect. One has to be convinced about this conclusion, and he has to be remain fixed in this conclusion to become perfect in this life itself. This is the goal which Prabhupada gave. Although we don't have much lifetime on a, I don't have we don't have much time remaining in this life, but Prabhupada wanted that if possible, try to become perfect in one life. That is the goal which Prabhupada expected from all of us. And that is a high task to become perfect devotee in one life. But at least we can try. At the end of life, at least we should have the satisfaction that I tried. After that, Krishna will see whether what we have done, whether we are qualified or not. But मरते समय एटलीस्ट ये लगना चाहिए कि मैंने तो किया अपनी तरफ से, जब समय था तो मैंने तो किया अपनी तरफ से, अभी आगे का भगवान देखेंगे, पास होंगे कि फेल होंगे ये भगवान देखेंगे, बट एटलीस्ट आई ट्राइड फ्रॉम माई साइड. मरते समय ये दुख नहीं होना चाहिए कि जब टाइम था तो हमने किया नहीं. आई डिडंट डू व्हाट आई वाज सपोज्ड टू डू. This should not be the lamentation at the time of death. So in our hand this is there. Whatever time have left in this body, we should think that by the end of life I will endeavor in such a way that by the end of life at least I will think that I tried something, doing something, whether it is worthy or not, that Krishna and Guru will decide, but at least I tried something. That should be our goal. So these are some of the points from these two purports. If some devotees have some questions, they can ask the questions or comment or something like that.
Hare Krishna, Vamsi Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful class. Few of the point I really liked that Prabhupada has said that the devotee was asking that why you are adding Krishna's name where there is no need. So Prabhupada said why you are not adding, there is a need of Krishna's name. And second thing is that everyone wants to be a Shiksha Guru or authority, but they don't want to work under the authority of Shiksha Guru, or they want to work independently. So this is the freedom, and we should not take it for a grant. And it's very dangerous that authority and the spiritual master especially, we should not think him as an ordinary person.
Yeah.
So wonderful class, Prabhu. Nice points. I really like. And I request all of the devotee, if they have any question, anything to ask, they are free to ask. They are most welcome.